This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 Cedar Creek Experience travel trailer. The model number is 38DB. Okay, so this is a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. We'll start here at the door side rear. So you have a 6-point leveling system. You see there's ice on it. It was cleaned up and it's pretty cold outside. So you have a 6-point leveling system, 3 jacks on each side. I'll show you how that works when we come around the other side. Okay, you have slide toppers on your slide outs, a power awning with LED strip. Okay, let's see, assist rail, steps that flip up into the trailer. This this is a sprayer port. That's power. This is just your dump hose here, and this is a part of your reducer. You have another reducer that goes from, I'll show you, it's on the power cord now. It goes from 50 to 30 amp, and this one goes from 30 to 20. Okay, so you have TV signal out here, plus power if you want to put a TV out here. This actually has a motion activated light, so you can turn it off, on, or motion activated is good. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. This is a hookup for your LP system. So to put a grill or griddle on it, you'd have to get the core or the quick connect LP line plus an appliance. Make sure it's the right pressure for a travel trailer. 2 30-pounders full. Okay. Front storage in the front. You have battery. Okay. This is the controller, the outside controller for your leveling system. So it says here the default pin is 5241. So we'll go 5241 and push the green button. So the two main buttons you're going to use is auto level and then return to hitch height. So if we go back into options, modes, arrival. Okay. Auto level is what you're going to do. Just push auto level and it'll lower all the 4 jacks back there plus the 2 landing gear up here, which makes 6. When you auto level it, it remembers the position the trailer was in before you auto leveled. That's called hitch height. So therefore, when you're going to leave, you go back into, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You go to options, back to modes, and you would go to departure, and you would go to return to hitch height, right? And when you push that, it remembers the position, like I said, it was in, so it'll put it right back in the same position it was before you pulled your tow vehicle away and then auto leveled. So you should be able to slide right in there. It should be the correct height for that, okay? So those are the two you're going to use. You could operate the jacks manually. You could also retract, which retracts all, including the front, so it'll nosedive the trailer. It won't hurt anything unless there's something underneath the front, then it'll squish it, of course. But return to hitch height and auto level are the two you're gonna use. You can learn more about it and use all the different configurations if you need to, but those are the two most common. Okay. Alrighty. So this is your basement is heated, and you have this is your sprayer here. We looked at the port on the other side, right? There's also a hook up here. Let's see, let's get the light on here. Okay, there's also a hook up here for it, right here. Right here, okay. Now, this is the kill switch, the battery disconnect for your for your battery. You can completely disconnect it by just turning the key and pulling the key out. You don't have to pull the key out, but you can turn it to the off position and disconnect the battery. You've got your black tank here, 2 gray tanks. This, you have 2 toilets in this one, so you have 2 black tanks, right? The other black tank valve is towards the back, okay? The reason I'm telling you this is because you can see there's 2 flushes for it. This black tank flush here is for your main forward bathroom, or actually, I guess in this one it would be, well, anyways, for the forward bathroom, yes. And so after you dump your tanks, you leave the black tank valve open, like it says on the sticker here. Always leave the valve open before you turn the water on, and you'll hook the hose onto here at the dump station, turn it on, and flush your tank. You'll do the same thing to the rear tank also, for the rear bathroom. So those are your flushes. Your city water hooks up right here. That's the most common way to get water to the trailer. Now, if you look here, this would be city water. Right now it's in winterize. But you put the 4 valves into this position in the center, city water, and you hook up the hose and all the plumbing works like normal. Now, if you're camping someplace without city water, you can go into power tank fill, put the valves in this configuration, and the hose on here, and it will fill up your fresh water tank. Then you can put it into this configuration here, dry camping, and your water pump will pump the water out of the tanks, and all your plumbing will work as though you have city water. You'll just be pumping it out of the tank, okay? And then you have over here an empty / sanitize mode, and then of course winterize right here. Okay? So 5 different configurations, very simple. Low point drains here. And these here are for each slide room. Now, you have 1 button, because you have hydraulic slides, you got 1 button to push, and they just come out one after the other. If you only need to pull 1 out for any reason, you can shut your other slide rooms off by turning this to the off position down here. So you just turn it off, and you just leave the one you want to operate on. And so therefore, when you flip the switch, it'll just send the one out you want, or the combination of ones you want. So you can do that all from here, okay? So that's a really good feature. They used to all have this years ago, but now only some of them do. It's a really, in my mind, it's a really good feature. So, okay? All right. This is your tank, your water heater. Let's see here. You're gonna have switches inside. Let me just set this down here. You're gonna have switches inside. This switch here, which is off right now, this controls the heating element that's behind this cover here. So that's for the electric heating element. It's off now because the water heater's empty, because it's been winterized, right? You see your drain plug is out. Never run the water tank without water in it. You always want to fill it up first, okay? You'll have switch inside for your gas burner here. I'll show you that when we get in there, but keep in mind that this switch in the lower left-hand corner is here. Okay? Never run the water heater without water in it. You have a 50 amp cord with the reducer I told you about right here. Okay? Fresh water drain is down here. This is your furnace vent here. You have slide toppers, of course. This vent here is for the range hood. So if you're going to be using the range hood fan to vent the trailer, make sure you open that. See, there's a little baffle hanging there. You can get up on the ladder and put your thumb on it and flip it open so it flaps freely. Keep in mind you want it flapping freely if you're going to be venting. Otherwise, you can just keep it shut. All right. Okay, here we go. It's freezing. There's your black tank and flush up back here for the back bathroom. Okay. Door to the back bathroom. This is pre-wired for a Furion backup camera kit. That's what that is. And that's a hookup for a Lippert ladder, if you want to get a telescoping ladder for it, which makes it easy to inspect the roof. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. You're just looking for damage that could be caused by road debris or flying up there, or low branches or anything like that. You look at the sealant to make sure there's no cracking or separation where water could get through. Odds are you won't have to do anything for years and years, but you have to inspect it because you don't know what's happening up there unless you look. So you always want to stay ahead of things, so make sure you inspect it every 90 days. Have somebody go up there or go up there yourself. Just be very careful, of course. Okay, here we go. Oh, the furnace is running, which is good. Okay, so this device here is your power converter. Converts AC to DC power. Oh, what do we got here? Make sure that's on there. I don't know what the story is, but it'll be on there. You have regular 120 AC circuit breakers like you see at home. They're all labeled below them, right? Then the power is converted from 120 AC to 12 volt DC. So you have 12 volt fuses here, and they're all labeled, right? This is also a battery tender, so it'll sense how much energy your battery needs and keep it charged up. Okay. So it converts AC to DC power. It's your distribution center for AC. It has fuses for the DC, and it charges your battery when you're plugged into the shore power. Okay. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector here. It should always be green. If it's not green, get it serviced. Never just let it, just don't put it out of your mind if it's not lighting up, and there's a test button on it. You'll push the test button. If it's not working, get it serviced immediately. It's obviously very important. Okay? Let's see what we got here. Next, I talked about the power converter. Here we have the solar station here. Okay, so this is the main button right here. This is just to change the battery type. You have wet battery in here, so it's on wet. That's correct. Right now it's telling us there's 14.3. I don't know how well you can see it. 14.3 volts DC in the system, which is really good. That's what you want. So it's your DC voltage. You push it once. And this is the amp gain. 3.5 amps is being taken from sunlight, converted into panels to DC amps and sent to your, or DC current, and sent to your battery for storage. So that's your gain, 13.6. It'll change throughout the day. Right now it's really cold. We're on the side of the building where it's shaded. Not the cold doesn't mean anything. I shouldn't say that. We're in the shade at this moment in time, and also the time of day will matter because the sun will be in a different position in the sky, and it matters whether it's cloudy. So all these different these weather conditions matter. But right now we're at 3.5 amps. You push it again, and those are amp hours. That's how much storage you have, and then back to 14.3 volts. DC. So you got 3 different screens that pop up and tell you everything you need to know. If this is full, in the sense that your battery has no more storage in it, it will tell you that, and it'll basically stop storing or trying to store until the voltage drops. So I believe you got 1 battery in here. You can always add a second, and you'll have that much. You'll have double the storage that you have. If you ever put a second in there, make sure you wire it so it still puts out 12 volt DC. You just want to double the storage capacity. Okay. All right. This is just for the fan, the ceiling fan. This is your furnace. There's 2 zones. It's self-explanatory. You just pick the zone. Here, I'll just go to zone 1, which we're on right now. Right now we're on gas heat. If you can see that, you just pick the different functions. Choose the one you want and go for it. So this is your control panel. It works like they generally do. This one has an on and off switch for it. We'll just leave it on. And then there's the button. Like I said, it sends them out one after another. But you can deal with that up at in the water closet area there, the docking station, where you can turn them on and off. This is for your power awning here. Never leave the power awning out unattended. Always roll it in if you're not going to be at the campground. lights, ceiling lights, more lights. Your water pump is right here. The water pump's used to pump fresh water out of a fresh water tank if you're not using city water. It's also used to winterize the trailer. To turn your water heater onto gas, there's the fault light there. You're running on gas that way. Like I said, there's a switch on the, or showed you, there's a switch outside in the lower left-hand corner. You'll basically, anytime you have water in the tank and you're camping, you'll turn that on and just leave it on. Like I said, never run it dry, but you leave that on and you always get hot water. If you're going to be showering, most people will kick on the gas burner then, and it'll give you hotter water and faster recovery. So, and then when they're done, they'll shut the flame off because you don't want to guzzle up all your LP, and you just go back to keeping it hot with the electricity. This is for your tank heaters. This has heaters on all of your holding tanks. They're basically heating pads on the tank, and then there'll be another one on the corner / valve area. It extends your camping season, so you can stay out when it's much colder without freezing. Okay, and then you have all your levels. They work like they all do. Battery, fresh water, so on and so forth. Okay, alrighty, so that covers that. And one more thing right around the corner here. This is for your max air, so this is for that one there. This will power the vent, or the cover on it. So the cover goes up and down, and you can set the speed, that sort of thing. This is a sensor. You'll see a few of them around the trailer. That's for the heating and cooling. All right. This is the door that I just pulled off your thing there. I'll put it back on. Okay. What do we have here? Just more storage, self-explanatory stuff. This looks like a pantry here. Yes. Your refrigerator is, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Yes, it's 12 volt DC refrigerator, so that's great. It runs on 12 volt. Okay, very nice refrigerator too. It has I believe this one has, yeah, it has an ice maker in there. We'll clean that out for you. When it winterized, it runs it through the system and goes into this pan here. So now that it's done, we'll dump that out so it's not swooshing around for you, okay? I'm going to leave that open so I don't forget. When it comes to your sink here, there's some attachments down here that he hasn't set up yet. Okay. See if I can do this one-handed. So you got baskets that hang, right? In here, see if I can get this open here. It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't really have to show you, but I'd like to look at it anyway. I'll get the camera back on in a second here. Okay, so you have a cutting board / sink cover here. Okay, I'll just set this over here for now. And these are pans that go into the sink in various positions, as you can see. You have a strainer there where you can rinse your dishes on. Same with this piece here. This goes down here. Now, this sorry about my camera work. I'm getting a little carried away here. This will tell you if you go to this side when you're turning it on. This is the valve for the water. That is for this one here, right? If you look here, it's for the waterfall, which is right here. So the water can come out in a waterfall. I can't show you because it's filled with antifreeze and it's not pressurized at this point. But the waterfall will come out. You'll put your dishes right in here, and you'll use this strainer pan, for example, in this position, and it'll just this wall of water comes out. If you go the other way, like I said, you can use this. This is a glass cleaner here. If you turn the glass upside down and put it on there and push down, it sprays up and cleans out, rinses out your glass that you're using. Okay? And then of course a dispenser. So It does all that and more. Okay? Got auto closing drawers. Just looking to see what we've got here. Make sure everything is here. Cutting board here, storage. Trash pull out here. The vent on the outside is for this. You can see it's got a 2-speed vent on it right here. It's a 2-speed fan. Like I said, that vent on the outside has a little baffle. You want to pull it open. It latches, so you want to pull it open. If you're going to be using the stove and vent to the outside, you want that flapping freely. It also has a light on it. When it comes to your cooktop here, your range. That's for the oven. These are for these. It's going to take a minute to get gas up here because the tanks were just put on, and there's an air bubble in the line when you first do that, and he hasn't purged it through yet. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have everything as I should. There it goes. So you won't have to do that each time, obviously. You just hold it till it lights, and then you'll have to, if it's not warmed up, you'll have to hold it for a few seconds longer to heat up the thermocouple, then it stays lit. But now that the air bubble's been purged out, you won't have to do that until the next time you change the tanks out. Okay. The oven works the same way. You have your oven light here, and then your ambient kind of light here. Okay. All right. So fireplace. Turn it on. You can go this way. It's off. If you look at it, off, low, and high. That's the fan speed. It really kicks out the heat. You can also change the colors of it. Whoops, this way. So there's a lot you can do with it. It also looks like it has a timer also. Okay. These sliding door, or any kind of door that slides or is held shut, you want to have it latched like that when you're traveling. Never leave it unlatched when you're traveling. Any doors that have this thing on it. You want to just make sure that it doesn't fly open in transit, of course. Okay, this is what I was looking for here. These are your remotes. There's a remote for your television, a remote for your fireplace. All your literature is in here. Okay, this is that's for your router that's already installed. This is a tire monitor here. You have to program it yourself. All of your wheels, 2 on each side, have a sensor that's located stuck to the inside of the wheel, or the outside of the wheel, I guess, inside the tire, directly across from the valve stem. So that's where you find it. So when you're programming, you'll put your monitor close to that point when you're programming it, and you can read the directions. You can set to tell you what the temperature of the hubs are, and you'll know. You can have it alert you when it gets to a certain temperature, so you know if one of your hubs is overheating. It'll alert you, depending on how you program it. It'll alert you when your tire pressure is too high or too low. All that sort of thing. This top piece here will go in the tow vehicle with you, so it's neat. Okay. All right. I got to pick up the pace. I only have a half hour before this thing starts a new file, so I got to move. This you pull down on. I believe. No, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about here. Let me look back there. Yeah, it does have a swing arm bracket. Okay. I don't want to just rip it off the wall. Off the wall. But you can adjust the pitch of the TV here. You can see. Okay. It has straps on it. That's what I was pulling, so you can strap it in place. Of course, you have your loft up here for kids and grandkids. Your recliners, which are powered. Here's the button for each one, for the back and the footrest. The rest is self-explanatory there. You have another fan up there, vented, I mean, excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself here. There's another fan which has several speeds, and it has a lid on it that goes up and down. Alrighty. Now this door here, it has another one of these, so you always want that latch in the open position when you're traveling. So does this one here, and so do the sliding doors for the wardrobe up front. Keep that in mind. You have some storage under the bed, all the usual stuff. Your back bath here. Always, when you're traveling, and I don't have it, well, you should always latch this like that when you're traveling, because when you're in transit, they'll slam around and they can break, but if you keep it latched, it will not break, so that's important, obviously. Another fan up here with the same controller. As you can see, the toilets work like all RV toilets do, in that they're right over a black tank. We talked about the black tank flush. So what you do, this is the same for both toilets. When you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, of course. Then you come inside, you put a dose of chemical right in the bowl. You'll stand on the pedal here and hold it down till at least a gallon of water along with the chemical goes into the tank below. Now you can put more than a gallon of water. Matter of fact, most people do, but don't use less. So you want to have enough water in there so it's not dry. If you don't use water and chemical, you use it dry, it'll get clogged up for sure. It'll smell bad. It'll just be a real mess. So you always want chemical and at least a gallon of water in there. That goes for both toilets. Okay, pick up the pace here, Carl. Bathroom. This is the same thing. Always keep this latched right there. Toilet, same rules, chemical and at least a gallon of water. GFCI right here. So keep in mind that there's going to be a couple GFCI. The other bathroom probably had one too. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through one of the GCIs. If it's just a regular plug, it's still wired through one, like the plug on the outside would be wired through. So if you're using something outside that pops a GFCI, you're going to reset it here, for example. Anytime you lose any of the receptacles, you always think GFCI, okay? And look for one and see if it needs to be reset. Alright. You got your top secret storage under here. It says lift here. Under there. Obviously another TV. Shades. It's prepped for washer-dryer combo or stackable, either one. You got your wardrobe in here. You have a vacuum back there if you can see it. And again, we see this latch here. These latches have to be latched. You can't travel without them latched or else you'll have problems. If you open this one, you'll be able to see there's a vacuum here. Okay. What I have to do is get it to relatch and I'll be all set. There it goes. Okay. I think the rest is self-explanatory. There's some storage under here, I believe. What is there? Yes, there is some storage. Okay. Another sensor. Another air conditioner. Okay. Okay, so I think that covers it. I'm looking as I go here. I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Make sure you inspect the roof every 90 days like the manufacturer recommends. That's important, or have somebody else do it. Just be very careful, of course. Right now this is winterized, so the water's been purged from the system and replaced with antifreeze. And the water heater's drained, so just make sure you fill it up before you use it. Anytime you drain the water heater, make sure you fill it again before you use it, or else you'll damage it, okay? Okay, so thank you very much, and we'll go over this with you when you pick up, and we'll answer your questions, and we'll go from there, okay? Thank you very much.